Ever wondered how much money you need invested by every age to achieve a $1 million 3 ETF portfolio? Now, this is something that you should be thinking about right now if you really want to have a lot of money in the foreseeable future. For some quick background information, a 3 ETF portfolio is a type of long-term investing strategy that involves investing in a broad market ETF. Take S&P 500 ETF VOO by Vanguard, for example, a growth ETF for the potential of higher returns in the long run. Some common ETFs I see are like VGT, SCHG, VUG, and maybe even QQQM. And a dividend ETF for that passive income cash flow and to balance out the portfolio with some more value-oriented, stable companies. Prime example of this is going to be SCHD, DGRO, even VYM by Vanguard. Now, if you want more details about this 3 ETF portfolio, even if you want to see my own 3 ETF portfolios that I created in my Roth IRA and taxable brokerage account, you could go ahead and check on this video that I made on my channel for more information. But in this video, I'm going to be providing my own take on exactly how much money you should have investing in your 3 ETF portfolio and shooting for as a goal in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, even your 60s, to achieve that millionaire status in retirement. I'll also touch on the key money milestones that you should be doing right now and hitting at every single age, so you could get ahead of the majority of people that are going through life living paycheck to paycheck or don't even have enough money invested in their 3 ETF portfolio or their investing portfolios in general. Now, if that all sounds good to you, let's get started. Starting out in your 20s, there really aren't any good recommendations that I found online for how much money you should have invested in your ETF portfolio or even saved at this age. But one source that I found says that the median net worth for someone in their 20s is anywhere from negative $27,129 all the way up to $6,980. I know it might be discouraging to see other people, whether they're in their 20s or maybe in their 30s, having these fancy lifestyles and driving some nice and exotic cars. But most people at this age group in your 20s have a ton of student loans, auto loans, maybe even some credit card debt, and not a high income to begin with. So if you are debt-free or even have a good paying job out of college or in your 20s, and you're taking your paycheck and putting that money into a 3 ETF portfolio and actually investing for retirement, then give yourself a big pat on the back because you are way ahead of most people. At this age, your goal should be to have around $12,000 invested in your 3 ETF portfolio, with your primary goal being getting out of any sort of credit card debt or even paying off all your student loans if you went to college. Because why would you even invest in a 3 ETF portfolio if that portfolio is going to be giving you around 10 to 13% annual returns per year, when literally your credit cards or student loans are going to be sucking away anywhere from 7% all the way up to 30% in interest away from your wealth? So be sure to pay off any sort of credit card loans or even your balance on your credit card, as well as student loans. And then you can invest something like $5 per day with a cup of coffee method, which turns out to be just $150 per month, which is doable for most people in this age range to invest in their 3 ETF investing portfolio. And if you do this in 35 years, you'll be a millionaire in no time with the average return that I've used of around 10%. You'll also collect dividends from your dividend ETF and even watch your growth in broad market ETFs skyrocket in returns. At the age of 30, sources say the median net worth for someone in their 30s is anywhere from $14,000 all the way up to $34,691. Now, in my personal opinion, you should be having at least $100,000 in your 3 ETF portfolio by this age, preferably in a tax-sheltered Roth IRA account with the majority of your money in this beneficial retirement account. Because $100,000 will be more than enough to the point where if you literally stopped investing today in your 30s in your 3 ETF portfolio, you will still get to that millionaire milestone in just about 23 years. Because honestly, life gets in the way. You might have a mortgage, a high rent, or even kids along the way, and expenses might just add up and you're not going to be living off of ramen noodles like you are in your 20s. So you might not be able to invest a lot more money than you are at this age range because of the life situation that you might be in. But if you make the sacrifices and do something very doable like $10 per day, which comes out to just $300 per month, since you'll hypothetically be making more money as you move up in the world, over the next 30 years, you'll be just fine with nearly $3 million. And if you want a more specific number to invest your money in a 3 ETF portfolio at this age or even in general, I always recommend doing around 15% of your paycheck into your investment portfolio. Moving on to your 40s, sources say that the median net worth for someone in their 40s is $91,300 up to $126,881. Of course, you guys know that my goal for you guys is to invest a lot more money than the median net worth. Now that number is going to be at this age range, $300,000 invested in your 3 ETF portfolio to really take advantage of dividend growth and even just growth in your stock market portfolio. Now, if you guys took my advice in your 30s on investing $10 per day, which is doable for anyone at that age range into your 3 ETF portfolio, you should be way ahead of the game in your 30s with over $300,000 from your 3 ETF portfolio strategy. I personally feel like your 40s, if you play the game right, is the perfect age to where you could let off the gas a little bit and maybe spend some more money on things that you love and like a vacation or just treating yourself in general from all the hard work you've been putting in throughout the past couple decades and investing in your 3 ETF portfolio. Now, if you continue to stock away $10 per day, $300 per month, or 15% of every single paycheck into your 3 ETF portfolio, you're going to be just fine in the future with more than $1 million to your name. In your 50s, the median net worth for this age group is anywhere from $168,600 all the way up to $292,085. Now, I don't know about you, but just having a couple $100,000 to your name is quite scary. It might not be enough to hit your goal of that millionaire status in retirement. But people like me and you, we don't want to be just average. We want to be extraordinary and having enough money for retirement to achieve that millionaire status and just build wealth simply over time. Now, I recommend you have $700,000 in your 3 ETF portfolio by this age. Now, this number comes from continuing to invest 15% of your paycheck or just continuing that investing muscle every week or every month into your 3 ETF portfolio strategy. Now, in your 50s, your salary is hypothetically going to be the highest it's ever been, so $10 a day might seem like a conservative number, but if we still continue to invest $10 per day, in just 15 years, you'll be cruising your way to more than $1 million in your ETF portfolio. One thing I would recommend at this age to start thinking about is to lower your risk and invest in less riskier assets. Something like bonds might be a good one to complement your 3 ETF portfolio, or maybe even just keeping that 3 ETF portfolio approach and just increasing the amount of dividend ETFs in that category. Because you want to protect your wealth at this age and not going in full blown on growth or tech ETFs, because typically dividends and even bonds will outperform other sectors in a recession or stock market crash. And finally, age 60. At this age, the median net worth is going to be $212,500 up to $454,489. Now, these numbers might seem very low, and in my opinion, they are, because most people at this age are going to be relying on fixed Social Security to subsidize their income. And honestly, I don't even know if Social Security is still going to be here in the future. What I recommend for you is to have $1.4 million at this age in your 3 ETF portfolio. Now, this is where the magic happens, where your dividend payments start to be actually meaningful to pay off some expenses in retirement, and the growth ETFs and even the broad market ETF really took off and skyrocketed and compounded your money over and over and over, so you have a ton of money to just play with and live off of in retirement. Now, in my opinion, $1 million for your retirement should be the bare minimum you should have in your 3 ETF portfolio. You should be shooting for the stars of something like 2 million, 3 million, even more money in your 3 ETF portfolio to live the retirement that you've never thought possible, and I'm sure you're gonna be on your way there as soon as possible. That about wraps up for this video, guys, on having $1 million in your 3 ETF portfolio with exactly how much money you need invested. Now, you should be doing this right about now. Now, if you guys like this video, please give it a like because this cute puppy did, and comment down below how much money you are targeting for retirement in your 3 ETF portfolio because I would love to hear it. Now, right here is a video on the 3 ETF portfolio that I just talked about in more details, and right here is a free course on even how to invest in ETFs for beginners. Now, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day, continue to crush in the stock market, and take it easy. Peace.